Hello, my name is Bill Haley for Haley 2024 The Movement's Government Reform Ideas. Now this video is going to be on transitioning away from monopolized government, the way we currently have it now, to more of a societal oversight role for government. Now I'm talking about monopolized government. So I want to go to competitive governance system, which is not going to be the same as monopolized government. So we'll go over and we're going to have a monopolized government as a societal oversight versus all-inclusive right now. About 40 to 45% of GDP is spent by government at all three levels of government. When you look at all three governments put together, and with a lot of controls, even over the 50 to 55% that they don't spend, they still have a lot of control over it, a lot of regulatory control. So let's keep on going. The first thing you need to do is define terms and realize that there are many gray areas. So when I talk about it, people are going to be able to say, well, this or that. And yeah, there's overlaps, there's gray areas, and many issues will not be clearly defined and fall neatly into one of the categories. So we're going to try to talk in broad terms here, and that's fine. We're going to do the best we can to try to clarify what we're talking about and not and show the differences. The government here is defined as the state, the city, or the country that has sovereign control, authority, and responsibility for a geographic area and the people and businesses within that area. So we're talking about the federal government, the state government, and the city government acting in a monopolized way per city, per state, per federal government. Monopolized government, not competitive governance, we're not talking about self-governance, we're not talking about corporate governance for a corporation, we're not talking about freely chosen organizations with governments within those, even if they have bylaws from corporations and the like, or something freely chosen organization. Societal oversight is citizens within a geographic area that has oversight over some private actions that go too far outside of societal norms that have significant negative externalities. So societal oversight is letting not having monopolized government do so much, the private sector doing more, but having the societal oversight to say, you're going too far and you're causing significant negative externalities, or the people you're governing under your competitive governance, your societal organizations, you're going too far and it's creating negative externalities. You need to rein it in, have a little bit better standards. Indeed, government control has societal oversight functions. So the current government control has societal oversight functions, but I'm talking about going strictly to societal oversight and not control over government in itself, not doing so much, but oversight where when somebody goes too far, causing negative harm. So allowing a lot of people to do what they want to do as long as they're not harming others is the basics there. Societal oversight, you can see that people are doing things that's not harming others and they have to leave them alone. Societal oversight is only when they can only take action when there's significant negative externalities. And we're going to go over different areas of the economy, different area of governance to determine that. We're talking about education. Do they only get involved when there's education neglect or abuse and corruption? Government control is the micromanaging regulations, the taxing and spending by government, by the monopolized government, where everybody in the geographic area has to pay those taxes, has to be governed, the money's being spent and regulations are being put out there. It doesn't have to be micromanaging. It can be mild regulations to a micromanaging level, but it's monopolized. Now, obviously, if it's mild regulations, that allows a lot more societal oversight. Micromanaging regulations doesn't allow so much. It's more micromanaging. It's more control. It is essential to note that this advocacy is about, my government reforms is about 85% move in that direction. Obviously, we cannot go 100% there. So all the different, hey, you can't do that because, well, maybe that's in the 15%. And a lot of times, most of the objections, no, we really can do competitive governance. Private, individual groupings to take care of some of those functions that government's currently doing. It can be done. You just haven't thought enough through on whether it can be done well. And if you put limitations on, you can't harm others. You have to get these things done so you're not harming others. You have to have family governance, a family law. You have to be under a organization that's handling that, so you're not causing significant negative externalities, which means children don't know which parent to go to, and there is a physical fight for that. There's no overarching person or organization to make that decision. No, if your social organization that you choose to get into that does family law, they need to actually do the family law. And I have a structure for everything. And each sector of the current government control has many different aspects to consider. So it is hard to get into every aspect because government is quite extensive. And there's always going to be issues. Everything I say is bringing up new rabbit holes we could jump down and talk for hours on. Government control in the area of helping the poor has government taxing every household on average $10,000 per year, or roughly 5% of GDP. That's under what I want to do. So right now it's a lot more than that, but I don't think we need to help the poor to that dollar amount if we do a lot better. Societal oversight means society insisting as a condition of living in a geographic area that everyone must help the poor the way they see fit. I have a structure for that, with a 5% of their income. So I want 5% of GDP. It's not going to be exactly 5% of income. Businesses are going to pick up part of it. Individuals pick up part of it. There's a full system around it, but there's a system there. So I want a societal oversight, not government doing it. Everybody has to contribute towards helping the poor. I have a structure around that, but that is, government's not doing the helping of the poor. Government's just saying everybody has to contribute 5% of their income, or 5% of GDP overall has to go towards helping the poor, and you're part of 5% of GDP. So again, there's a structure for that. Look at that video. I have one particular video talking about the income and where that income's coming from. Haley 2024 develops a charity system that meets the definition of societal oversight. So government's not doing it. Government's overseeing, saying, yes, you have to help the poor. You have to help give through charity. There's a little bit of a structure involved to make sure it goes decently, and we can have a little bit of oversight, but then that oversight's looking at what's going on. We have a rating system and caseworkers, we have charities, we have charitable distribution associations, we have a full structure there. The current government welfare system and the Haley 2024 charity system both mandates that everyone helps the poor. However, the government system is a one-size-fits-all structure that allows the poor to demand benefits when they meet the qualifications of politicians. The Haley 2024 charity system allows everyone over a dozen different options to donate. Yes, it is mandatory donations, but they get choices on where and what charitable philosophy they want to donate under. The charity system option uses subjective determination, where the current welfare system, they cannot use subjective determination. And again, I have a lot of writings and videos on that. Subjective determination is huge. We need to be able to help people individually use subjective determination on that person, that family that needs help. And you cannot just use statistics on incomes and other things. We are harming too many people with that system. The current government control of education taxes, citizens roughly $10,000 per year, or approximately 5% of GDP. And that's what the current system does. Societal oversight means that society mandates that everyone educates their own children. The level of socialism in government school is profound. If people want to stay with the current system, they should be allowed. I have a structure for that. However, the people that want to be out of the government schools currently can only take themselves out of the benefit side of the socialism of education. They cannot take themselves out of the funding side. I allow them to take themselves out of both sides. I go to something called competitive school boards. There's a lot of ways to do it, and I choose to do it one way versus another. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. I'm not thrilled with a lot of the school choice programs out there currently. I want to go to competitive school boards. But that is a societal oversight. Everybody has to get educated. There is a system for the poor. There is a system for everybody. There is a system to make sure things aren't falling through the cracks. But it is important for parents to actually struggle to get their children an education. And that is important. That brings so many benefits. So we want to balance making sure their children get an education, but not taking their rights away, their parental rights and control. Because when you take parental control away from the parents are less responsible. When you take their responsibility away, they become less responsible. The Haley 2024 plan is to allow people to take themselves out of the funding, lifetime taxes side when they forego the benefit side. The Haley 2024 education reform sets an excellent framework for education. The Haley 2024 education plan fulfills the societal oversight role without the politicians and bureaucrats control issues. So they get to ensure that the child's educated without having the control in the politicians' hands and the bureaucrats' hands. Society needs family law, labor law, contract law, banking regulations, insurance regulation, safety laws, healthcare laws, and a lot more than that. The government currently fulfills that area of law. However, these laws do not need a one-size-fits-all approach. Yes, different states have different laws dealing with these issues. So there are competitive regulatory areas out there, competitive laws out there. One, Florida versus California versus Texas versus Maine. There are different states, but I'm talking about without having to move. There should be these laws, insurance laws, banking laws, healthcare laws, without having to move. People living a mile apart near the state border are living under different sets of laws. These laws deal with interactions of people and businesses. Currently, the government sets a one-size-fits-all for its state or the city. The Haley 2024 plan allows roughly a dozen competitive regulatory agencies, competitive governance, to operate in each of these sectors of regulations and within each geographic area. Societal oversight means that every person and every business must be regulated. However, they have many options of what set of regulations and laws that they wish to live under. So you choose a voluntary set. You have to choose one of them, but you choose which one you want to live under. It could be more libertarian, where low regulations, mild regulations, or can be very stringent. However, you choose which one, as long as their people and the members are not creating significant negative externalities. You're not harming people outside of what you're doing. There are only a few areas, such as a violent crime, where one standard is required. So there are going to be some things where one standard is required. This move to societal oversight ensures a set of regulations, however, without a one-size-fits-all government control. So when you start getting into violent crime regulations, obviously we need some one-size-fits-all. But that doesn't mean we have one-size-fits-all on the prosecutors and the defense attorneys and the judges and the like. We can have a competitive system. Now, nobody's allowed to be a judge without getting the badge, the authorization from representatives of 70% of the American people, or the state people, or the local people. So there is societal oversight. That is a societal oversight. So nobody's going to be able to be a judge without having that authorization. Again, Now, once you get that authorization, well, it only takes 40% of the representatives of 40% of the people to knock that power away from you. So they're not going to be able to have corruption. And it's going to be able to deal with corruption a lot faster. So let's keep on going. In the foreign policy and military parts of government, there needs to remain one commander-in-chief to speak with one voice to other countries. The Haley 2024 Foreign Protection System profoundly provides the power to ensure better checks and balances. The Haley 2024 reforms for the military brings in the free enterprise system and the role of prices to the greatest extent possible. Many Haley 2024 reforms enhance true representation of citizens in profound ways when government control is required. Okay, so there is profound free enterprise benefits within the military, but societal oversight all over the place. They cannot control their missions. They can control their training, but their product is military capabilities for America, commanded only by the commander-in-chief for the officer corps, and that's the structure. And only after the diplomats declared war, that's anything outside of our U.S. soil, or if an enemy attacks U.S. soil, then they can command our military forces, those capabilities to handle anything on American soil. Okay, in the area of policing, currently the government has control. So I want to go more towards the societal oversight role. In the Haley 2024 Violent Crime Mitigation System, overwhelmingly moves to a societal oversight role. While the oversight is more robust than banking, food safety, or manufacturing oversight. I think I said that a little bit wrong. So just look at the Violent Crime Mitigation System. I got videos on that. Oversight over banking, and because I got competitive currencies, I got a whole new banking system where every bank chooses what regulatory agency they want. As long as they're not creating significant negative externalities, they're not harming people outside what they're doing, then and they're not doing fraud and abuse, then they can do banking. So it's oversight, it's not control. Same thing with food safety, manufacturing, and the like. A lot of areas. The Haley 2024 moves to a profoundly competitive free enterprise system. And competitive governance is going to be in the free enterprise system to a large degree. The robust oversight requires that everyone and every business purchase police services sufficient for the job and starting at current police funding levels. So everybody has to get a police contract. Every business, every homeowner, every landowner, every car owner, a whole bunch of people have to get it based off of what you own, what you need to protect. There's a lot of aspects of that. So there's mandates that you have to have a police contract, and the police do have to work. The competitive police do have to work together and cooperate as a condition of being a police contractor, and to get your badge, to get the authorization to be a police officer, you have to get it from the authorization agency, which is a representative body. Its societal oversight requires police training and societal oversight on who has police authority. This robust societal oversight deals with the court system and prisons as well. Please read the full plan on my website. The Haley 2024 rating system is a secondary system of societal oversight with real power to restrict negative externalities, significant negative externalities. They also deal with abuse, fraud, and the like, anything low integrity. The rating system is also competitive, which means there's competitive rating system, in providing the best information possible to the citizens. The benefits of great information are immense. America became great because Americans were willing to fight for our freedom from foreign foes. So it's one of the first democracies. Representative Republicans, not Republicans. One of the first democracies and representative republics, constitutional representative republics, with state rights and low federal control, that had the ability and the will to protect from foreign foes. And that's what changed the world. That is what created such the world power as America became in the 1800s and the 1900s. They created a great rule of law and assist those with serious unmet needs. Obviously, there's corruption all the way through. However, it was one of the lowest levels of corruption of many governments, and it allowed it to persist. America's separation of power, respect for civil liberties, and free enterprise also played a vast role in increasing the standard of living in America. We should all be careful about changing a system that is the envy of the world. So America was the envy of the world. We have taken a major step back to some degree with not living by the Constitution anymore. It is with great care and consideration that I entertain these changes. I don't want to change the best system in the world, but we take what's there, we get rid of the bad stuff, we go to a societal oversight more than a monopolized government, because monopolized government means monopolized type of power, and power corrupts, and monopolized power corrupts even faster. Each Haley 2024 reform enhances the positive and mitigates the negative. It radically changes the foundational structure of government. I go to a competitive government system. Again, Haley, okay. Here's the 30 sectors. You see 15 on this screen. 5 for the charity system, 5 for the foreign protection system, 5 for the violent crime mitigation system. We see 15 more from healthcare to finance to insurance, food, education, human resources, identity, huge one for identity, environment, work safety, transportation. I got a write-up and a video on every one of these, which is highly important. Here's a structure of government, which is highly important to understand. I'm not going to go through every bit of that right now. I got many videos on that, a lot of write-ups on this. Here you can stop and read some of the graphics on there, some of the words on there, and what a competitive government is, competitive regulatory agency, what the sector board does. You can stop and pause and read that. A parent sector board, dividing the 30 sectors is their main responsibility, and a couple other responsibilities. It's the greatest representative body in the world. If it gets created, over 360 different, 360 is not even enough to say what it is. It's profoundly valuable. 360 organizations will make up that parent sector board into what it is. But the parent sector board doesn't even have that much power besides saying what sector has that power. So it's highly important to understand. Highly important to understand what a rating agency is and the full rating system as a competitive rating system. The rating parent sector board, highly important to understand. Again, you got the 30 sectors, and I'm just going to finish off this video. It's 24 minutes or so. Just saying, we want to go toward a government oversight, a societal oversight role. So government's not doing, it's watching the private sector do stuff and not letting the private sector go too far outside the boundaries and where it's starting to hurt other people. So it does not allow its members to pollute too much. It does not allow its members to not get educated. It does not allow their members to have unsafe buildings and unsafe roads. It makes sure there's limitations on how unsafe food can be and the like. But for that, it needs to be a significant negative externalities, a lot of safeguards around that. A lot more at Haley2024.org. Please consider a donation. And until the next video.